All right, here goes.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to We Don't Know Sports. I am your host, Ethan Ragsdale. This is our first epi of We Don't Know Sports. Like I said, I'm your co-host, Ethan Ragsdale. Today with me, I have Caleb Edward Edley, Jared Wood. I mixed you guys, Jared Webb and Jacob Wolf. I did a hybrid. That'd probably be a better, less shitty person. But yeah, Jared Webb, Jacob Wolf.
The ultimate loser.
Dude, yes, just a few of your worst traits. That's a Jared Wolf.
Goodness gracious. I feel bad for that person.
What a hybrid, dude. Yeah, amount to absolutely nothing. Anyways, guys, our first topic of We Don't Know Sports is NBA coming back, right? We don't want to do too much of the irrelevant stuff that's going on. Not now, but the past few weeks. Premier League's back, which is cool. But a couple weeks ago, you would have nothing, pretty much just NASCAR, Korean baseball, irrelevant stuff. But relevant stuff is starting to come back, like I said, Premier League, which is important to a lot of people, including 3 out of the 4 of us that are on the podcast right now. La Liga's back. Champions League's coming back, hopefully in August. So soccer's really big. That's important. We're getting that back. To most of us. Fans aren't in the stadium right now, but as viewers watching, I can say that we are enjoying the time. I love that they're putting in the fan audience sound in the television. I think that's really cool. I'm enjoying that. I still get the same vibe. Obviously, the people that live over in England for the Premier League probably don't get the same type of response. I'm sure they want to be back in there with their team, but it is what it is. So moving on, going to our topic today, we're talking about NBA coming back. Right, so what I'm going to do, we have a format that we're going to talk about that each of us are going to chime in a little bit. But what I'm going to do to preface our show before we get into our template for the day is just talk about, if you're listening to us, if you don't know what's going to go on, if you don't know how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen, where it's going to happen, all the if, ands, and buts. So I'll run down that. If you guys have anything to chime in while I do so, feel free. So we're looking at about a month away, a little over, for a return date. We have July 30th. It was previously July 31st. Don't know why they wanted to bump it up a day early, but I'm not complaining. One more day of basketball is one more day I'm happy. So we'll do that. It ends no later than October 12th, 2020. That is the possible latest date that the 2019-2020 season can run. And that October 12th date is if the finals, Eastern Conference, Western Conference finals, goes to a Game 7. Right, so that's the latest possible day. The draft will be held October 16th, so 4 days at least, or at most rather, after the end of the season. So it can end before October 12th, depending on how the finals go. If it ends in 4 games or if it ends in 7. The new 2021 season, 2020-2021 season starts December 1st as scheduled. Unless that's going to change, that's where we are now. If we start this season, or restart the season on July 30th, December 1st, it will be our new start. So before we move on, we can talk about that just for a little bit before I move on to the rest, before we get into our format. What do you guys think about that? Like, as far as, that's something to think about. It's not normal, They get much less of a layoff in between. But then you have to take into the fact that we just had a big layoff from March. So we've had about a 4-month layoff. So maybe it evens out. I think it's cool. I'm chill with it. I'm sure the players might have something to say about it. But I think it's fine. It's another, at most, you're looking at a 2-month layoff, almost a month and a half. So are you guys cool with it? You think it should be extended? Are you happy with where it's going to start? What do you guys feel about that?
I like it. I think it makes every game worth watching, honestly, because one of my biggest issues with the NBA is that the season's too long. Mm-hmm. So a few years ago when they had the closeout, they didn't start until December. I watched pretty much every game I got a chance to watch that year. I felt like the NBA did better fan-wise that year. So I think it creates more excitement. How the NFL season, every game matters more simply because there's not as many of them.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I feel like that will help them a lot, actually. I think the same thing with the NHL when it comes back, just that compactor, a little bit more exciting. every game means something now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think just with everything, there's a silver lining. Of course, you're not trying to read out the pros in coronavirus, but when it comes back, NBA will be watched more. It will mean more because we're going to get into that format in just a minute, and I will talk about why it means more. But every game is really going to matter. And with the layoff that we get from October 12th at most to December 1st is we get more basketball. You know, we get a little bit more. We don't have much of a break. So we kind of dealt with our break just now. And July 30th, guys, we pretty much get straight basketball for a year. Aside from that break between October 12th to December 1st, month and a half, we get straight NBA, which I'm happy with. I mean, like I said, not trying to weigh the pros and cons of coronavirus, but you have to look for a silver lining in everything. And I think that's a good thing there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think if the players have a problem with it, they'll take it to Adam Silver, and Adam Silver will do what's right. He's a very players.
He's the best. He's the best commissioner in our major sports, in my opinion. That's subjective, but that's my opinion.
Yeah, he cares about the players because he knows that they are what matters.
I don't hate him as most, but he's a pander. He's a people pleaser. He's he does shit, but like the whole Colin Kaepernick situation, he's on his side now. Hey, buddy, you're 4 years too late. He's just a pander. He does what he needs to save face. Whatever. That's not our today's episode. We'll get to that at a later time, for sure, because that's an important topic.
That'll be a fun
but yeah, it would be. We'd go at him. All right, but before we get into our format, I have a couple more things to talk about how it's going to look. NBA. Every team is playing in Orlando. That's it. Orlando, Florida. It's going to be on Walt Disney World Resorts, ESPN. They're going to play in that facility for the entirety of the playoffs, for the entirety of the season. Now, we're not getting right into the playoffs, so how this is going to work. Actually, right before we get in that. In Orlando, every player is going to be tested for coronavirus every single day. Risk is minimized that way. No audience at all, obviously. Team personnel is limited. So the amount of team personnel they had before, they're not going to have. This is just for the listeners so they know exactly. This is the boring stuff. But they're doing what's necessary. It's boring but necessary to see how they're going to handle limiting coronavirus outbreaks because they're going to happen. It's inevitable. But we've seen at this point most players at that age, at that physical ability, are going to be asymptomatic. Not meaning that it's not serious, but meaning that they are not going to exhibit symptoms on a high probability, right? And I'm not saying that it matters or it doesn't. I'm just saying from what we've seen so far. Back when Rudy Gobert, Spider Mitchell, all those guys tested positive for coronavirus, and they were asymptomatic. Going forward, more to the NBA meet. There's a 22-team format. We have 22 teams, 9 from the East Conference and 13 from the West Conference. Now, you ask, why is there more? It's all because of record. On the West Conference, they are more closely in line with one another to compete for a playoff spot. And in the East Conference, the spread is further away. Now, how it works is it's going to be a possible play-in tournament, right? So 8 teams from each conference make the playoffs, right? And so we have 9 from East Conference and 13 from West Conference that we have. There's going to be 8 regular season games. When we get in, each team, all fair, 8 regular season games. At the end of that, we see where the records lie. This is where it gets tricky, so I'm going to try and be as thorough as possible. Like I said, 8 teams make a playoffs for each conference, 16 total. Now, if 8 and the 9 seed are 4 games within one another at the end of these 8 games, right? You follow me so far. Every team plays 8 games. If the 8th and the 9th seed are within 4 games of each other, they have a playoff with themselves to get into the actual playoffs. So, 8 and 9 play each other, right? If for the 8th seed, it's double elimination. That means they have to get beat twice. Now, for the 9th seed, it's single elimination. If they have this play into the playoffs, 8 and 9th seed, and the 9th seed, they play one game, 9th seed loses, they're done, that 8th seed is in, right? So let me put that into perspective. So you have the Orlando Magic and Washington Wizards. Those are our 8 and 9 seed in the Eastern Conference, right? Say they're within 4 games of each other. They have a mini playoff to get in the playoff. If the Orlando Magic beat the Wizards once, that's it. They're in. If the Wizards beat them twice, the Magic twice, they're in. It's a little tricky, but it makes sense, and I think that's the best way to do it. It's a little bit more complicated than the West. They have a little bit more options, and you have the 13th seed, you have Phoenix Suns, and then you have the San Antonio Spurs, Sacramento Kings, New Orleans Pelicans in descending order. Okay, And a lot of reasons speculation is they want to get Zion in there to, boost up some views, give him a chance.
For sure.
And we'll talk about that definitely a little bit more. But that was the trickiest part of this episode, right? Explaining that thoroughness. It's still a little bit hard to comprehend. But just to rephrase that, every team gets 8 regular season games. If the 8th and 9th seed at the end of those regular season games are within 4 games of each other, they will have a play into the playoff. After that, everything goes as normal. You have a 7-game series for every playoff game, and you move on accordingly. So nothing changes from that point. I think Adam Silver did a killer job with this. I love the format. I have no complaints. People want to bitch like, oh, East Conference doesn't have as many. Dude, you look at the rest, they're trash. They have no hope. I thought they did a favor by putting the Wizards even in there. But all the records are kind of similar, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've talked a lot, so now we're going to get into everyone talking. That's our template for the show, right? So I try to run down for our listeners what it's going to look like, so we're not just talking random stuff and they don't understand, right? So this whole point was for them to get a preview of the format, how it's going to look in Orlando come July 30th. Again, every game will be played in Orlando. No home team, unless you're the Magic. That's really tight, but spoiler, they might make the playoff. I mean, hey, they're the 9th seed. 8th seed. As of now, they might make it. But other than that, no one else is going to have home field advantage. I mean, then again, we're not having audience, right? So it doesn't really matter. Anyway, it's all the same thing, and I enjoy that. I think at that point, this is going to be the most real, most transparent playoff we get. We don't have any audience to move it in one direction. We don't have any injuries aside from the guys who were way injured before. But anyways, so we can get us all talking. For our show today, the meat of it, we're going to pick one East Conference favorite, one East Conference dark horse, one West Conference favorite, one West Conference dark horse, and then out of those 4 teams, you will pick who do you think is going to win it all, right? So how we're going to do is just how I see it here, and we're going to have Caleb, Jared, and Jacob go in that order, and what we'll do is we'll start with our East Conference dark horse. And by the way, Jared, you with us? Looks like he's frozen. All right, so in the meantime...
equity went away, actually.
Yeah, I know. All right, so he will get back in here while he's frozen really beautifully. So we'll work on that. But yeah, Caleb, if you will start us off.
Oh, yeah, sure. Sorry, I'm just doing a screenshot of Jared right now.
Perfect. We need this. I'm trying to remove him, but it will not let me.
Don't remove him just yet.
I tried.
Sure? Got it. All right.
Crap, it says he won't be able to rejoin, but whatever, we'll figure it out.
He'll be able to rejoin.
All right.
Oh, you mean... Sorry.
East Conference dark horse. I chose the Nets.
Nice. Now, why'd you pick the Nets? What do you think? Why do you think they're a dark horse? I love that pick. I think that's a great pick. I think their roster's solid. But what's your ideology behind that?
I'll be honest with you. This show is called We Don't Know Sports, and I don't know why the fuck I picked them. I just fucking did.
That's fine.
Saw it. I said, Brooklyn Nets. Kawhi plays for the Brooklyn Nets, right?
No.
All right, see?
Dude, I love this. I love this network. We Don't Know Sports. We have some guys who are really knowledgeable and some guys who are just fun. And, we're here to educate. And I'm
He used to, though, right? He used to.
No.
Damn.
Kawhi never played for the Brooklyn Nets.
Who am I thinking of?
You're thinking of
Spurs or the Toronto Raptors. He played for both.
I think I'm thinking of the Spurs.
Spurs, they have the same colors.
Well, I know the color. Yeah, that's
I think the
what
Nets were
I'm
looking at him at one point. I think they were looking at him in the offseason, but I don't think anything came of it.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's why I picked him. So, but I'm still gonna go with it.
All right, I love it.
Yeah, I mean. All right, so what my point for that is I like that pick, but it's just I feel they need their best players, right? They need them back, and we're really not going to have KD. KD's not going to come back. He's already said he wasn't if he was there at full force because he tore his Achilles last year. Their starting lineup right now is rough. It's rough. They have DeAndre Jordan, they have Chandler, they have Curtis LeVert, they have Joe Harris and Spencer Dinwiddie. But we expect Kyrie Irving to come back, and if he's playing, man, I'll do your reasoning for you. That's a really good pick there. If he's back and he's playing, just Kyrie himself, will do enough to make them a deep threat. Because as of right now, they're sitting okay. They're at the 7th. So if the playoff were to start today, right, they would make the playoffs. So that's a decent dark horse. Not bad at all. So I can see that. I just wish Katie would be back full force, and they were close to my dark horse. But not bad. I don't. And I did say, their depth chart is rough, but they have some guys who have proven to be good, but not proven to make a deep run. DeAndre Jordan is just some guy who's been around for a long time. He's great, not amazing. Spencer Dinwiddie, Joe Harris, Curtis LeVert, they're decent players, but not enough, in my opinion, to what we have in the Eastern Conference. Eastern Conference is not what it used to be, dude. It used to be West Conference was the main meat, but East Conference is deep, deep, deep. So we'll see that, and I just don't see them making a run unless they get Kyrie back, and we'll see how they go. But, we still don't have Jared with us, so we'll just run it without him for now. Jacob, who did you have for your East Conference dark horse?
I have the Philadelphia 76ers as my dark horse. I think a lot of that kind of relies on Joel Embiid coming off this hand surgery. That's one of the reasons I feel like they were probably lowering, I guess, in the standings before the pause. I think you mentioned earlier that the few months off is going to be super beneficial for a certain few teams, and that's why I actually chose my other dark horse as well as based off that on the Western side. But I think between Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, we can get through a couple rounds. I don't know why I say we. I'm not a 76ers fan by any stretch of the word. But, I mean, they're not that deep, looking at the roster. Al Horford's, obviously, probably the best, their best sixth man for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think he can step in, for Embiid if he needs to rest that hand a little bit. Not have as much impact, of course. But I do think that this pause is going to help the 76ers quite a bit. And I think they're going to show out a little bit, going into this playoff. I think they're going to surprise a few people because they're a little lower than they should be on the standing or in the seeding simply based off of the way they finished the last few games. So.
Yeah. All right. So while we work on getting Jared back in, Jacob, if you could do that for me because he's we're trying to get him back in. I'm trying to work on it.
He's in the clean feed, but he is not on the video.
Yeah.
And the video has to go through you, Ethan, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm going to work on that for a second. So if you want to spitball while I do that, let me get him back in.
Yeah, so real quick, I'm just looking at the schedule for 76ers right there. I can see that they lost 3 of the last 5 games they played, 7 of the last 9. So, and then they had a big losing streak actually, back between January and February as well. So I think that kind of just plays to my point that with Joel Embiid going out in January, they were struggling a bit. But you can also see they were solid. They started the year off with a solid 5 wins. Everyone's healthy start of the season. That's what's going to be happening right now. We got to look forward to everyone is going to be healthy, and that's probably the main thing that the NBA is going to thrive off of is just the fact that all the stars are going to be back basically. My other dark horse that I was looking at, I'll just go ahead and say it, I guess, since we're waiting on Ethan. I was thinking the Indiana Pacers just because they're a consistent team. They're just one of those teams that, you always expect them to be doing well, regardless of whether or not you know who's on the team even at this point. Because, honestly, I don't know the Pacers that well. I just know they always play well.
Yeah, for sure. With Victor Oladipo, they're always a threat. I hate this. The Pacers just because I feel like they can always do some damage regardless.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, moving on while we work on getting him back in here. Yeah, man, you kind of stole my thunder. They're the dark horse that I picked as well. I picked 76ers just because on paper, dude, their team is nasty. And I'll kind of echo some of a little bit what you're saying. Ben Simmons is excellent. When he's on, he's on. That's the 76ers problem. Because as you see, as my jersey on, we'll get into a little bit later, but I'm a definite Miami Heat fan, and we have a rivalry with them a little bit that's feuded the last 2 years. But when they're on, they are on, and when they're bad, they're bad. We have played the Philadelphia 76ers 3 times this year. They blew us out by like 30 points the first time, and we played them at their place and home after that. We blew them out by 20-plus points both times. It's odd. They have no team morale. That is what I've seen. I'm kind of not proving my point why they're dark horse. I'll get to that in a minute. But when they're losing, they kind of shit the bed. And my reason is because I feel like Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons are younger. They're a little bit emotional, especially Joel Embiid. Ben Simmons maybe not so much, but very emotional play. And then you have veterans like Tobias Harris, Al Horford, big guys. Well, Joel Embiid's our big guy, but Al Horford's a bigger guy, and he's a vet, and he's proven. I'm a huge fan of Josh Richardson. He's our shooting guard. I mean, obviously I'm biased. He used to play for the Miami Heat. I love him, and when he's on, he's on. He's kind of like the rest of the guys. They have to get it going. When they're hot, they're hot. That's why they're my dark horse team. They are just your quote, your dark horse kind of team that you wouldn't be surprised if they shit the bed, but also you wouldn't be surprised at their ceiling. They have a lot of potential. They could be really well. So that's what I have for them.
So you want to go ahead on to the next onto the West now while we wait for Jared. We'll just have him go through both of them at the same time if we can get him back in here.
Well, what I want to do now is we have him through the clean feed, and so from the remainder of the episode, we'll probably just have him in on audio.
Okay, I just unmuted him on the clean feed since.
So it's fine. So we won't get to see Jared's beautiful face for the rest of the episode, but what we will do is we'll just hear him through the audio. And Jared, you didn't miss too much, but we went through our dark horses of the Eastern Conference, and just a rundown for our listeners, we have the Brooklyn Nets, Philadelphia Sixers ×2, and Jared, who did you have for your dark horse for the Eastern Conference?
All right, Eastern Conference dark horse. I actually am going with the Miami Heat. So Ethan, I know you like that choice. I chose them because I think Jimmy Butler is. I think he has the potential to be really great, and they have a lot of young people on there, and I like Udonis Haslem too. I always have.
Yeah, he's one of those guys. He's definitely a bench player, but I mean that's really not what his role is anymore. What his role is, he's just a team leader. Right. He doesn't really get many minutes on the floor anymore, but we have him there for a reason. He'll play, very, very rarely, but when he does, it's a team booster, and we need UH. And I mean, he's an OG. He's one of the only ones who still played along with Dwayne Wade before he came back. A lot of stuff, but I'll go into detail a little bit more Miami Heat later. But yeah, Jared, do you want to add anything else besides Jay Butler?
I really I think Dragic is he's a really good point guard.
Yeah, he is.
He's got some handles, you don't see it just by looking at him, but he's got some skill. Like I just looking at him, I don't see a basketball player, but for some reason he's really good.
Oh no, dude, he's another Steve Nash. Of course, he's not on Steve Nash's level, but he's really not a bad player. I really like Goran Dragic. He's the Dragon for a reason. That's what they call him. He's kind of like other players. He has his moments where he'll really succeed, and he's hit some clutch shots, and that's what he's known for, to really shoot in the open. You do some pull-up jumpers. That's what his kind of move, and then he'll do some layups through the middle, and he's not a dynamic. He's definitely not flashy, but he gets the job done. He's not like your Kyrie Irving with the handles. He's a point guard, but we have Kendrick Nunn at the point guard position as well, who's goes back to your point, Jared, where you said these young guys, and that's K Nunn for sure. I love him a lot. He's kind of our starter right now. Dragic comes off the bench. But yeah, they're both really, really good at the point guard position. But not to take away too much from you. But yeah, man, so we talked about our East Conference dark horse. So now, instead of talking about East Conference favorites, I want us to go over to the West Conference to talk about our dark horse from the West Conference. So, in that order that we just did, Caleb, who is your West Conference dark horse?
He's spinning the gambit right there.
Sorry, no, there's something in my eye.
I thought he was just thinking, let's go with this one.
OKC.
Okay.
That's actually a pretty good pick.
I can make good picks. Do I know why I make them? No, but they are good.
I mean, I don't like it, but I mean...
I like it because I like Chris Paul.
Yeah, like a good neighbor.
Okay.
State Farm is there.
Exactly.
I mean, dude, right now, their record's good. I believe they are in the 5th seed, so they're going to make the playoff. Mm-hmm. But they always do it, man. If they did it with Russell Westbrook, they're going to do it without him. And what I mean, do it, they just shit the bed, man. They're just not a playoff team. Chris Paul's great. I love him. Their only gleaming hope is SGA. It's a hard name to pronounce. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I love him. Some people say Shai. I think it's Shai. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I've always said Shai. I I digress. I love him, dude. He's a small forward. He's young. He has so much potential. He is not talked about enough, bro. I play with him on 2K all the time. I just love him as a player. He has so much potential. Danilo Gallinari, he's a role player. He's good. Steve Adams, he's a good big man. He's underrated, dude.
Yeah, he really is.
Everyone talks about him for his gimmicks and stuff like that, but Steven Adams is a good big man. But everyone else, bro.
Gimmicks?
Oh, Steve Adams likes just
He's goofy.
kind of like he looks like a caveman, and they kind of put this persona on him, how he looks, and like when he does certain things, like not for
like
his
the Geico caveman commercials. Like that's he literally should have been in those commercials. Like,
yeah, they don't like do him for his playing ability. It's kind of how he looks and his persona. But when you get to the root of it, he's a player. My only problem is their bench sucks, man. They don't have a bench. They don't have a bench. They got Chris Paul, SGA, Steve Adams, Danilo's kinda, and Luguentz Dort. I mean, if you have Luguentz, I think it's Luguentz Dort. If you have him playing, man,
Do they still have Schroeder?
starting. Yeah, they do. Dennis Schroeder's coming off the bench. Dennis Schroeder comes off the bench at point guard and shooting guard. Yeah, he does, but he's their best six-man, man. I mean, they have no one else.
Yeah.
They have no one else. They got like Narlings Noel, Darius Bazley, guys who do not get playing time. I don't
That's
know.
why it's a dark horse,
it,
Ethan. They're not my
Sure.
winners.
well, thing is, all
right, so
to relate
my
to
thing
hockey in this, like, though, real quick, just sorry, Ethan.
No, dude, go off. I've talked a lot.
Oklahoma City kind of reminds me of the way the Washington Capitals were for quite some time in hockey. They make the playoffs, but they're not a playoff team. Oklahoma City has not gotten over the hump yet. The Capitals have. They finally, out of nowhere, everyone had the same thought. Oh, okay, well, it's the Capitals. They're going to lose first, second round. No one gives a shit.
Yeah.
Then, well, all of a sudden they win it. It's one of these years, Oklahoma City, they're going to figure it out. Maybe it's like an assistant coach somewhere that they just need to replace. That's, who knows? We don't know what the winning formula is because we're not in the locker room. It's just there's something missing that once they get it right, it's going to go fucking haywire, and they're going to be one of the best teams. They're going to be the team that everyone talks about. And like you said, if they didn't do it with Westbrook, when the fuck are you going to do it? And sometimes you got to realize, maybe it's not the players, maybe it's behind the scenes somewhere. And that's just my kind of 2 cents on Oklahoma City.
Yeah. No, my thing with them is this. Like
I will say that's a lot of teams.
Yeah. With a dark horse, it's volatility. That's what a dark horse is, right? Meaning they're rapid to change. They have a high ceiling, but also a low floor, right? So no safety. That's what a dark horse is. This is my thing with the Thunder. They have a pretty high floor because they're going to make the playoff, but they have I don't think their high ceiling's that high. I mean, I don't see them making dude, if they make the Western Conference Finals, I will come back here and eat my words. I just don't see it happening. I really don't. I don't see them
Would you like salt and pepper?
Yes, dude.
Well,
you can butter me
Oklahoma
up.
City definitely shouldn't win the Eastern Conference Finals, but
I think there's a clear. Do what?
you said Eastern when you said it. I was just fucking with you. That's all.
I thought I said Western. But there's a clear break right after. I think the top four. You have the Lakers, Clippers, Nuggets, and Jazz, and they're a clear break after that. There's a really solid top four.
Yeah.
And then Rockets and the Thunder. They remind me so much of each other, probably because they interchange players. They have Harden, Westbrook, all that. But yeah, man, they're just really not playoff teams, and I think the same thing's going to happen to the Rockets. I just don't think they're going to make it a deep run. But yeah, so Jared, you were supposed to be next. We kind of switched the roll around, but I'll let you go here. Jared, who is your West Conference dark horse?
My Western Conference dark horse, it's actually my second favorite NBA team. It is the Memphis Grizzlies.
Dude, I love that pick, bro. Tell us
Dude,
why.
okay.
I know there's one reason why. Say his name.
Dude, Ja Morant,
Say
dude.
his
sir.
name.
He's what? Listen.
He's special, bro. He's special.
He's special. Listen, Mike Conley, dude. Probably one of the Memphis's best point guards ever. And Mike, I'm not trying to. This is what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to bash Mike Conley because he has been great his entire career, and I think he's been underrated, and he should have been in a lot more of the All-Star games than he has been.
Well, he doesn't play for the Grizzlies anymore, right?
Right, I do know that.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I just, in case you didn't know the background on the Grizzlies, because I feel like a lot of people don't know them.
They don't. Correct.
They have been a dark horse team their entire NBA career, and just like Jacob was saying with OKC, like they're just waiting to find that really good piece. I think Ja Morant was a perfect thing or a perfect choice in starting that. But they also have Brandon Clark's pretty good.
He's hurt
Jaren
right
Jackson
now.
Jr. is showing good.
Yeah, and their big man Jonas. I mean, he's a typical big man. Your big guy from overseas. We'll see, but I mean, John Morant is the reason this should be a dark horse. I know you shouldn't rely on one player, but the point guard is arguably the most important position. They get the ball down the court. We'll see how it goes, but and they have a decent roster. Yeah. Tyus Jones coming off the bench. Justice Winslow. Well, he came from the Heat. I love Justice Winslow, bro. I really do like him. And Jaren Jackson Jr., like you said, Dylan Brooks, Kyle Anderson. That's a decent roster. They're not great, but John Morant makes them a threat.
He does.
So. All right, man. Awesome pick. Jacob, you're up. Who's your Western Conference dark horse?
All right, so I'm going to preface this before we even get started that the only reason I picked this team is because of the big break we just had. Okay? I'm going with Portland. I'm thinking that they can make a little bit more of a splash than expected. I don't think they're going to
love the pick. I want to hear your reasoning.
I don't think they're going to make it very far. Don't get me wrong here. But I think they're going to go further than expected simply because they've had the time to rest. So we all know Carmelo is not what Carmelo thinks he even is. I think with this time to rest, maybe a little time to think, he'll play the supporting role that he needs to, but hit the shots that he knows he can.
I will say this, since coming back, he has played better than expected. Yeah. That's a simple statement, and it's true.
I think that will be something that he continues to do. I mean, Portland, losing record right now, so any kind of win they get is kind of Cinderella-ish anyway, right? So maybe it's a cop-out pick in that sense. Mm-hmm. But Damian Lillard is fucking nasty. Hassan Whiteside, he is fucking nasty.
Yeah,
and if Carmelo plays the way Carmelo can play, that's a good team. It's they have not played their best basketball by any stretch of the word. This season,
but they have a good roster.
They have a good roster. They don't
have
at
every position they have a good player.
Yeah, but they don't. I mean, also I'll say they're probably hurting a little bit at power forward, but just because Zach Collins, he's okay. He's not like the be all end all. He's not making any.
And they got Nasir Little. He's a previous Tar Heel. Yeah, he backs up as well. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, you're right. That just context right there. But I love their starters, dude. Dame Time is so good. Trevor Ariza, he's a baller. He's a defender, right? That's what he's known for. Yep. He's a really good defender at small forward. Now, I could go on all day about Whiteside. Obviously, I'm a Heat fan. He's a previous Heat player. I just don't like his attitude. He's not really
with this shortened, intense schedule.
Yeah, depth. They'll want to ball out.
Exactly. Depth is going to come into play, and that's why I think they're not going to make it all the way. But I think that they're going to be able to ride these starters longer than expected.
Correct. Absolutely, man. That's a great point, dude. Yeah, Jacob just brought up a great point. One of the best points we've had all night. These guys, right? You can milk them pretty much for all they're worth now because they've had such a big layoff, right?
It's like a FIFA World Cup. It's a very short and intense schedule, and your starters play a shit ton.
So the bench doesn't – I'm not saying bench doesn't matter. Of course it matters. It does not matter as much as it would if it was a regular season. That's a fact. It does not matter as much because 90% of guys are healthy. They're going to come back. They're not going to be day-to-day like they are. Did I?
No, it's fine. This is just kind of funny because as much.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, I love that pick. I really do. I think they can make a run. And I love Carmelo. Like I said, I think he's played a little bit better than he's expected to.
And we all want to see Melo go out on a good
Dude, no one wants it. Yeah. No one wants any negativity from that side.
Except for
everyone wants to see him succeed.
But,
Yeah. All right, guys, let's move it right along. My West Conference favorite. Kind of cringy. Some people might roll their eyes, whatever. But I have good reason. I will get into that. I chose the New Orleans Pelicans. They're my dark horse. And they're a pretty low seed right now. They might not make it in. Right now they're sitting at the, I think, 10th. Yep, they're at the 10th seed. So they're close. They could make it. They could make the playoff. Memphis Grizzlies in the 8th spot. Portland Trailblazers 9th spot. Pelicans 10th spot. Kings 11. Spurs 12. Phoenix Suns 13. Right? So they have a chance to make it in. They had 8 games to make it work. Let me explain my reason as to why I think they will do so. I love their roster. They're young, and they have depth, which, if you have a young roster, it does matter because you're rotating a lot. But I love it, man. I love Brandon Ingram, bro. He is so slept on. He was mistreated. Brandon Ingram, you will never hear this, but I love you, bro. You are worth it. Dude, you're such a good player. He is so I shouldn't say underrated because he's now getting the respect that he deserves. But I love him, man. I love you can't teach what he is, and he's body type. He reminds me of the stick from A Bug's Life. He's just so lanky, but he's strong as shit too. So he's not like a guy who's like Taco Fall. Unfortunately, I love you, but he's no strength. He's just doesn't know what to do with his body. Brandon Ingram has that body.
He was too. I mean, he didn't really have. Yeah. That's why he didn't last in the league because he didn't have the physicality.
And he had bad knees. And Brandon Ingram,
Shaq was so good because Shaq was huge, but he also was big.
And Brandon Ingram, bro, he's skinny. He's not a large guy by any means. He's very tall. He's frail, but he knows how to use that body, and not many people do. Yeah. People that have that will play high school ball. They'll play college ball. But Brandon Ingram is successful because he has an odd body, but knows how to use it. And he's working on his shot. And, dude, people will roast me for this. I don't care. I will love Lonzo Ball forever. I love Lonzo Ball. Medium floor, high ceiling. He's going to be decent. He's going to be a starter for the remainder of his career. There will never, mark my words, there will never be a time where he comes off the bench. He's a starter. He is a starter. But his ceiling's really high. And people roast because, LeVar Ball, whatever, fuck that. I'm talking about basketball. I'm not talking about his family, keeping up the Kardashian
We're not
bullshit.
Big baller brand. We're talking
Dude, I'm not talking that.
Baller.
Lonzo Ball is a fucking baller. I love him.
Yeah. Facts.
Why... I don't think they're a favorite in their dark horse center position. Derek Favors is what they're working with. Jaleel Okafor is a backup. Not good. Everywhere else, bro, I don't have to say. All I got to do is say his name. Zion Williamson.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
NBA
a rookie.
2K 2021 as well, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, you got all those guys right there. And then you got Drew Holiday. I love Drew Holiday. He's Lonzo, Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson have uncapped potential for their ceiling. It's insanely high. Drew Holiday doesn't. We know what we're getting from him. It's consistency. He's a good shooting guard. Not great, but he's a career starter. I like the Holiday brothers. I like Drew Holiday. He's a good player. And then I could go on and on about their bench, bro. I love their bench. They have they got Josh Hart coming off the bench. They got JJ Redick, and I love both of those guys. And then you got little less guys. Frank Jackson's a player. Kendrick Williams, Eton Moore. They're decent, but I really love JJ Redick. Josh Hart, those guys coming off the bench. I love their depth, and I love the three guys that I talked about. Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson. If I had to bet money, no, I don't think they're going to make the Western Conference Finals. They probably won't even make the playoff, but I love the potential. If those three guys are on, Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, Lonzo Ball, you don't need the other two. Maybe that's a ignorant statement, but you don't. You have those three guys on, they're going to make the playoff. They're going to make a run. They may win the opening round. I could talk about them all day, but I'm really, really. That's one reason I wanted to do this show.
And that's
was
one thing
because
too. I think that's a team that they're gonna be great if they keep what they have right now. I don't know if this is their year, but that is definitely. And like you said, this is a dark horse team. That's the idea behind it. And that could be the case. Maybe if a little bit of this practice, maybe they're practicing at home. Maybe they learn a few things from each other. Maybe Zion is actually a little bit more mature than most rookies based off of this too. You know what I mean? With his physicality, he is the next LeBron. If he does his shit like he should be doing,
100%,
then he is the next LeBron.
And everyone talks shit. ESPN. Why is he on ESPN? It's a fucking reason that he's there. It's a reason that he's being hyped. I get it. It's a little excessive, but
because he is good. And I think what happened last time is I don't think ESPN really knew what they had when LeBron James came in. Because he did get attention. Don't get me wrong. He got his attention. But he didn't get this level of attention. And I think
they don't
want to make this mistake again.
Correct.
What did you say?
They don't have the platform. I said they don't have the social media platform they didn't.
Exactly. Yeah. And now we have the highlight reels. We saw him through high school, for Christ's sake. I mean, we saw LeBron, but we also got to see Zion at Duke. We all remember him running out of his Nikes. In the middle of the Carolina game. And everyone shit on Nike. It was no, this dude is a fucking monster of a human being.
And you know how much time we've had with Zion? We've had 1.5 years with Zion. That's it. 1.5 years. I mean, if you're a big basketball head, I mean, I'm not huge, but I'm a pretty big basketball head. I followed him in Spartanburg, South Carolina, when he played for them in high school. And I just watched it a little bit. So I've had 2.5 years with Zion, and that's all, dude. If I get 20 years with Zion, man, the only problem with him is injuries, and he's not. Yeah, for real. He's not. I wouldn't say he's injury prone. He's just got a lot of growing to do. His knees haven't handled him, stuff like that.
Shaq was injury prone. Like, it's just big guy injuries are different.
Big guys is hard.
Yeah.
If you're that big, you're that athletic, your body.
Your feet and your ankles and your shins. It's how it works. Unfortunately, being that large and being that athletic as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we'll move on, guys. I know I'm being long-winded a lot, so we'll move on to our favorites and then pick our. I know, dude, I'm going off. But just to recap, let me see if I can remember it from memory because I did not write it down. Caleb, Jared, correct me if I forget. So we have our East Conference dark horses. We have 76ers times 2. Mm-hmm. And then, Caleb, you picked the Brooklyn Nets. And, Jared, who did you pick for the East Conference dark horse?
I chose the Heat.
That's right. You chose the Heat. Now, from the Western Conference dark horse, we have the New Orleans Pelicans. We have the Portland Trailblazers. We have the Oklahoma City Thunder. And, Jared, you picked your second favorite team, and the Memphis Grizzlies. Those are our dark horses. I like all those picks. I do. Yeah. I think they're fine picks. I think the ones with the lowest ceiling, like I said, are the Thunder, but they're making the playoffs. The other ones that we're talking about, the Thunder obviously might even go further because they're going to make a playoff spot.
They're still a good team.
They're going to make a playoff spot. They're fifth seed. Even if they lose all 8 games, I think they'll still find a way.
In the semifinals for the conference. That's where they're expected to lose.
Yep. That's fair. All right, boys, moving on to the big stuff. We're going to talk about an East Conference favorite first, then West Conference favorite, and then we'll pick a winner at the end who we think is going to win that bout between Eastern Conference favorite and your West Conference favorite, right? Because that's what you have in your mind. Who's going to win that bout? Caleb, my man, you are up first. Who's your Eastern Conference favorite to win it all?
My Eastern Conference favorite is the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yep. That's the correct pick.
Yeah.
That's the correct pick. They're the best team.
On paper,
they have the best record
for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If you're betting $100, every smart man's going to bet that.
Exactly.
That's the team you're going to pick. Did you have any other reason, or is just on record?
I like Giannis. I like Eric Bledsoe. No relation to Drew, but that's why.
Yeah, it's really, it's hard to argue that it's unlike LeBron in Cleveland. He does have a decent cast, but without Giannis, they're not sitting at the record they're sitting at. They're not sitting at number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference Conference, right? They're not sitting there without Giannis. He's going to be a great dude. I'm not going to argue. If you're telling me he's going to be better than LeBron when it's all said and done, I'm not going to agree to that, but I wouldn't argue it. Right? I'm not going to agree to that right now. Better than LeBron, but at LeBron's caliber,
we talking about Giannis?
I'm not going to be surprised. Yeah,
I
Giannis,
think
he's amazing.
You'd want to.
Yeah.
I think you'd want to put Giannis more in contention with competing with Kareem.
That's what I was thinking too.
That's fair. Yeah, because they're different positions. Yeah.
Well, and also the size and the style of play, I think, as well.
Just more size.
Yeah.
Even I'd even put him in with Tim Duncan, like pure size.
Sure.
Giannis has some of the greatest handles for someone his size I've ever seen.
And when you compare,
probably the greatest.
More to
absolutely
Magic, I think just.
See, that's more LeBron for me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Magic is someone you would compare to LeBron, but Giannis, I think Kareem is a better.
Yeah. I think how you have the whole argument. We're not going to get on this episode. That can be a whole episode. The LeBron versus MJ argument. But my thing is look at the talent they're playing against. LeBron has to play against Giannis. Name one guy that looked like him that MJ played. He has Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, but they're still on that level.
The entire Detroit Bad Boys.
They were good, but they had
physicality is all I'm saying. And what I will say is name one person that Giannis,
they had physicality, but they had no guys that looked like Giannis.
But that's what I'm saying though. Is name one person that Giannis has played against that plays like the Detroit Bad Boys. You know what I mean? Whether or not you're big,
my thing is I think MJ would find a way.
I'll argue the LA Clippers. Not like the Detroit Bad Boys in size, but you got Pat Beverly, Lou Will. Those are some dogs.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
But I understand. But that's really physicality. What I'm physically talking about is physical body shape, how they're built. Giannis is a horse, bro. He's a horse. He's not he's so muscular, bro. He's just got it all. Yeah. Got it all.
He's the Todd.
So I love the pick.
That's for sure.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Jared, who's your East Conference favorite, sir?
Dude,
he's gonna pick mine, I think.
Everyone should probably pick Milwaukee,
tough.
But who do you think?
I know. I can't stop thinking about Boston.
That's what I'm talking about, baby.
Dude,
I hate them
Jason
so much.
Tatum. Jason Tatum is just. I think he just improves every single. I'm just gonna say every single day,
young.
just knowing how he does. But every year he just gets better. He got stronger. Yep. He's still as quick as he used to be, or what still is. He's the same. He's great. I think he has more. Well, Giannis is. I don't think he has contention with Giannis, but as a team,
he's really hyped, bro. He's really. I wouldn't say overhyped, but he's high hyped.
Mm-hmm. He's high hyped, but he's living up to his potential. So
sure.
Kudos to him. But Jaylen Brown also. Yep. Dude, I mean, if Gordon Hayward hadn't got hurt, I think
he'll be playing
more
though.
Of a
he'll be back.
thing.
That's the thing.
He'll be playing full force.
Yeah.
I think that's hurt him a little bit. Marcus Smart is always a dog. Kemba Walker,
I think Kemba's the main reason
they have the talent.
And Kemba's so nasty, bro. Like, I hate Boston. Like, I hate them. I've
always
hated Boston.
Before we got to this, because I was like, I gotta say, I choose Boston for this.
Dude, I could just go off
on
like
Carson Edwards. Watch Carson Edwards do. If he can play good, then they have a chance.
Yeah, and he comes off the bench. He's like a six man, but their center sucks. Daniel Theis is trash, and they got cancer. Yeah, definitely.
Dude, you have to have that person off the bench. If your six man isn't playing well, your team's not going to win.
Yeah, dude, their potential is. But they have a. They're like the Sixers. They have a low floor, high ceiling for me, man. Like, if you got those three guys, like I said earlier, you got Gordon Hayward, Kemba Walker, Jason Tatum. They're on, bro. You're in for a long night. And they're making it.
Not bad.
No, he's not bad.
That's one thing
I think Daniel Theis is starting over him.
I wouldn't be surprised if the 76ers beat Boston, honestly. But I just think Boston is technically a better team. Like, by far.
I agree. I do want Kemba to get a ring.
Same here.
Yeah, I know, because he's been with Charlotte for so long.
Yeah.
I wish Charlotte was good.
Yeah, right.
We all do. They're my third favorite, just my favorite Eastern team.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, man, moving on. Jacob, who is your Eastern Conference favorite? We kind of already know, Boston, but tell us why.
Boston, basically because Gordon Hayward. I mean, he's back. He's fucking nasty. He's got Kemba helping him out. Same things, basically just to harp on what Jared was just saying. I mean, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are fucking disgusting. They're young guys. Yep. They're improving so much. And same thing that we were talking about earlier with Zion. This little time off is definitely going to be beneficial. I think everyone's going to be rested. I think that this is a very strong five, but with depth. So, like, the same reason I chose Portland as my dark horse is the reason why I think Boston is a better overall team, simply because they have a little bit more depth to their team in a extremely strong starting five. The only reason I chose them over Milwaukee is because I'm worried that the pressure that Milwaukee is going to put on Giannis will either, hope to God, not lead to an injury, or just lead to him being too tired to make that final shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like relying a little bit too heavy. It kind of reminds me of Cleveland when they used to rely on LeBron, for absolutely everything back in the day. So.
Yeah. The only downside I see with Boston is that they rely a lot on Jason Tatum. If he's off, I think it's going to be rough. And Gordon Hayward,
if he needs it.
Gordon Hayward is not a player by himself. He is a player that is recipient and reliant, rather, on his surrounding cast. And if they're not on, man, I think it's bad. But I'll say this. I've watched every Heat game this year. I didn't miss any games. They played us twice, beat us twice. One was a close game, the other was not. So I really hate Boston, man. They're so good. I could see them making the conference finals easily. I could see them.
As a lifelong Patriots hater, like, it hurts me to say Boston.
You got to call a spade, bro.
Yeah, but they're good. I mean, I've never hated them for basketball for anything because Pittsburgh doesn't have a basketball team. So.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, guys, moving on. It's my turn.
Yeah, can you please tell us who you like?
Yeah. If you guys didn't know, I'm trying not to be biased. I'm trying to be honest. I'm going to tell you why I'm going to pick the Miami Heat. I'll start off with a simple argument, man.
Okay,
Listen. Right now,
I'm listening.
we are the 4th seed. We're going to make the playoffs. It's guaranteed. Right now, we're scheduled to play the Pacers. We played the Milwaukee Bucks how many times this year? We played them twice. Where did we play them? We played them at home, at their place. How many times did we win those games? Both. We won both games. We beat Milwaukee the first time 105 to 89 points. We blew them out. Giannis had under 10 points. Second time, it wasn't overtime, but we still beat them by 5, 131 to 126. If that's all I had to say, then you could say, okay, Ethan, they beat the number 1 seed. They have some chance. But I have even further points. I love our bench. Like we were talking about earlier, we don't really look at our starters. I mean, Jimmy Butler's excellent. He's great, going to Jared's point. But our bench, our rotating players are nasty. We have Bam Adebayo, arguably one of the best power forwards in the game. I mean, maybe I'm a little bit biased saying that, but I think he's amazing. The big things are the guy I'm wearing right now, Tyler Hero's a rookie. He's a shooting guard. He's excellent. He's coming back from injury, and so is Myers Leonard. Kendrick Nunn, Goran Dragic, our point guard, are nasty. And probably my favorite player on the team, I know I don't have his jersey, but he's become my favorite, is Duncan Robinson. He now has the Heat title for most threes in a season. Forgive me, guys. I don't have the exact number off the top of my dome. If somebody wants to look at that, I'm sick of looking shit up. But Duncan Robinson this year has broken the record for Miami Heat, not the single season. Single season record for threes in the game will never be broken. I think it's like 404 by Steph Curry. Not Seth, not his brother. Steph.
I thought it was
Steph
Thompson.
Curry has it.
Thompson had it.
Okay. Steph Curry has it.
I'll take your word for it. Yeah, sure.
It's like 404, I think. But Duncan Robinson is I believe, in the late 200s at threes. He's clutch three shooter. Hero's a clutch shooter. And I love our bench, man. It's the only player I really don't like is Kelly Olynyk. I don't think he's good. He's one of those guys kind of like Brandon Ingram, or unlike Brandon Ingram, I should say, who has a similar body type, but they're awkward. They don't really know how to use it very well, where Brandon Ingram knows how to fucking use his body. Kelly Olynyk's kind of awkward. He makes some bad choices. I love him as a person. He's the only guy on our team I really don't like. And we got Andre Iguodala, in a trade, who, mind you, was a former Finals MVP. He's not up to that caliber, but he has the potential, and I like Iggy. I hated him, but it's because he wasn't on my team. Now he's on my team. I like him. But yeah, man, our bench is solid. Jay Crowder's whatever, but everybody else, man.
Crowder has good days though too. That's something you have to admit.
He does. He's a role player. He's a role player. He'll be coming off the bench. But yeah, man, I just think they're my favorite, and
Yeah, that's why I picked them as my dark horse.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to pick them for my dark horse. That's who I was going to pick, and I was going to pick the obvious Milwaukee for my favorite. But I said, if I'm betting money, I wouldn't hate to bet on Miami, even though I'm biased and I live here. I get that, but I have good reasons. I mean, we played Milwaukee twice, small sample size, but we beat them twice. We blew them out of the water the first time, and we know how to shut Giannis down. That's the thing. What would you have? A team of decently good players. We don't have any all-stars aside from, well, we do have two actual all-stars, Adebayo, Butler. They're both not as good as Giannis, but what would you rather have? One amazing MVP-level player and four good guys, or five guys who are just good overall, I mean, and have the depth. And I think that's what I want to take into deep waters. Now, that's what I'm talking about for if we're in the Eastern Conference Final, oh my God, I would love it. If we make it, mark my words, if we make it to the ECF, we play Milwaukee, I think we beat Milwaukee. Especially since we're not playing.
No, I definitely agree with that. I mean,
you know who else on that team I think he could still be better than he is Chris Silva.
Yeah, Silva. I love him.
Out of I think South Carolina, he was a Gamecock.
He's from Africa, like born and raised there,
right?
And he's recently new here. I don't know if you guys saw on Sports Center. I'm sure all you guys saw it, maybe didn't connect it, but he was the guy where he hadn't seen his mom in like a decade, and she flew to Miami to see him.
That's right.
That was Chris Silva. Oh, I love Chris Silva, bro. He's a project, but he's going to be good.
He is.
He's going to be better than he is. There's 0% chance he doesn't become better than he is now.
Real quick, Ethan, just to let you know, with Duncan Robinson, I can't find the exact number of threes. His record in a game is 10 in the game, which is fucking outstanding. But he is currently shooting .448% from three this season, which is
that's insane.
That's great.
Say it one more time for the audience. What percentage?
.448. So basically
45%.
You're flipping a coin, bro, and he's making a three. You take all four of us, Caleb, Jacob, Jared, and I. We're probably going to shoot 15% from the three, if that.
Whoa.
On a good day?
Okay, Jared's a better shooter. Caleb, shut up. I'll give Jared, not you.
Caleb's like,
I could probably shoot. I think I could shoot at like a 30 at a 3.5.
Yeah, if you're shooting 35% from the three, that's good. Yeah. I'll probably shoot.
I'll take that.
Right now, if I go out, I'll probably shoot 50%, if I'm lucky.
Huge improvement over last year, his rookie season, where he was shooting .286.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's definitely worked on his three in his offseason, apparently, so kudos to that dude.
From what I'm seeing right now is that he has where it was 235 made three-pointers. His best record is 253, I believe, in a season, which is insane. That's a lot. Not to compare it to Steph, who hit over 400. He's otherworldly. But for a guy who's not overly hyped, stuff like that, Duncan Robinson is a great three-point shooter, so is Tyler Hero. And we have those shooters. Our only bad thing is we don't have much size. Yeah. Bam is our biggest player.
Yeah.
We don't have that much size, but we have a lot of little fast guys. And I really see
Duncan Robinson is not a small guy.
He's a shooter, though, so he doesn't use his body. He's a small forward, bro. He is not in the paint. He never plays.
But I think he could play some defense if
he
really put his mind to it.
No, his defense is fine, but he's not a big guy in the middle. We have Myers Leonard.
You're right.
He's not that. I love Myers Leonard, but he's not that great.
Also, look
at Bam Adebayo is our big guy. What's up, Jake?
They're a bit streaky, which that could really come in handy during this.
When we're hot, we're hot, man.
Exactly. That's and I know I gave you shit at the beginning, but like the more you talk about it, you kind of sold me on it. And when I'm looking at their schedule here, I mean, as long as they're not doing one of these, losing, 5 out of 6. I mean,
because we went on streaks like that, but at the beginning of the season we were a lot better.
And that's what I'm thinking. Everyone's gonna be bringing their A game right now too. So,
and I try not to do this from a biased perspective. I was looking at it like deeply. Look at our resume. Look at what we've done, but we're kind of like. We're not. I think we're a better team than Pelicans. We play Pelicans, we'll wipe them out of the water. I do believe that, but
because Pelicans.
I think we're kind of similar to them, where we have a high potential, but our floor is kind of low. We don't have much safety. Our only safety right now is Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. And I'm not talking a lot, but with Jimmy Butler, I will say when he's on because there's been times he has shit the bed and he gets the opportunities and he takes them. He misses a lot of shots. That's his downfall. He misses a lot of shots. All right, so I'm done with the Eastern Conference favorite, and now we're moving on. I spent a lot of time. I apologize. We're moving on to our Western Conference favorites. Caleb, starting with you. Who's your favorite from the Western Conference?
Who do you think?
The team from LA.
That's right.
Which
Lakers.
One?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Which one? Lakers.
The Lakers.
Sure.
I mean, I'd be stupid not to bet on them. I mean, you got LeBron, who's always a monster. Anthony Davis. Is he healthy?
Yes, he is.
Yep. See, I mean,
and those guys I was just saying earlier, Caleb, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, Lonzo Ball. They
all played for the Lakers. Yeah,
and that's the only reason they're on the Pelicans is for Anthony Davis.
Yeah,
because they were all traded. That's why they're on the Pelicans because they traded for one guy. I'm not going to say who won that trade. I think it's a fair, even trade, but I think Pelicans will win it in the long run. Not this year, in the long run. Anyway, sorry, Caleb, I'm taking away.
No, you're good. And I mean, I used to watch a lot more basketball than I do now, college basketball too, and I like Danny Green because I liked watching Chapel Hill. So
hell yeah,
I always hang out.
Go Heels, baby.
Not hang out, but like watch Danny.
We were
Green.
besties, so
Yeah, we'd chill. I'd go to Chapel Hill every other weekend.
Hell yeah.
Danny Green's he's a beast.
He's a shooter, bro. I love him. He's got a ring too, baby.
Oh, he's got. I think he's got 2.
Yeah, Spurs 14, and then Toronto 19.
Toronto, yeah.
Yep.
That's where my money's going.
So,
that's good money placed, man. Good money placed. All right, J-Dot. Jacob, do you want to add something?
Oh, no, I was just saying that's good. I was just saying good.
Cool.
Yeah, that's all.
All right, Jared, you're up, man. Who's your Western Conference favorite?
I'm going for the other LA team, the Clippers. And the reason why is Kawhi.
Yeah, figured.
Of course, man.
Dude,
good support cast, too, bro.
I know a lot of people. I'm a Spurs fan. Y'all know that. I love San Antonio. Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili's my favorite player all time. But Kawhi Leonard, I know some people may have bad blood for him, but dude, you can't be mad. He wanted to go home and play in LA. So I can't be mad at him for whatever reasons. That's, and I like it more for the players. So I'm not mad at Kawhi for leaving. He got us a championship with him. You got to be happy with it. He got us a championship, and then he wanted to go do his own thing.
Yeah. Coming from a Panthers fan, NFL-wise, dude, I put that in my perspective, right? Say I had a guy who came in. I mean, you don't really have a player like that in the NFL, but say I had a guy come in, won a Super Bowl, dipped out, never came back, I wouldn't hate it. I got a Super Bowl, bro. Yeah. I'd be so happy. It's a little bit different.
He almost got his 2.
Yeah.
But it was his sophomore year.
Clippers are in the ship to make it. They're in the shape to make it. Excuse me. It's not just Kawhi, man. I mean,
Paul
They
George.
got Paul George, Lou Williams. I like Pat Bev. Pat Bev, I know he's overhyped because of his mouth, but he's a lockdown defender,
but
one of
he's
the best
still good.
defenders in the game.
Yeah,
Lou Williams,
there for a
6th man of
reason.
the year easily, every year.
Every
Always.
year.
Yeah, and I like Marcus Morris. They're slept on. The Morris brothers are slept on. Marcus, I like Marcus Morris.
100%.
He's a good player, man. Zubac is always solid. He's one of those foreign, European centers. But that's why they keep coming over, because they're good. But he's
I'd
he's
really love
good,
to
not
see
great.
Joakim Noah just play his heart out.
He's going to get picked up. He's not on that team, is he? No, he hasn't been picked up.
Yeah. I have him on the roster for the Clippers.
Unless they sign him today.
Team roster for the Clippers, ESPN. Joakim
I'm on lineups.com.
Noah,
I don't
center.
see him. Weird. Jared, keep fact checking that, because I'm on lineups right now and he's not on it. And last week he wasn't on a team. He was
See if you can
Clippers
find
free
like the
agent.
news article where he got moved.
Yeah. While you do that, Jared,
News.
great pick, man. I love the Clippers. Jacob, what's your pick for Western Conference favorite?
I'm
4
with
minutes
Caleb here.
ago.
What did you just say? 30 minutes.
What'd you
ago?
say?
4 minutes ago, Noah
Wow.
agrees to deal with Clippers.
How the hell
By,
does ESPN have that updated on the roster, but they don't have the Spurs in the playoffs?
That's insane. Dude,
Right?
they just said, they're like, I'm going to fuck Ethan on his podcast right now because he's going to look like an idiot. I'm like, bro, he was not on a team because they were like free agents that could really help, which was the guys like Boogie Cousins.
Boogie.
What's the other one? Oh, my God. Forgot the stop clock, my head.
See, the
From
Spurs, I saw
J.R.
the
Smith.
Spurs try maybe
Oh, God,
going
J.R.,
for Boogie.
Yeah, but Boogie said he's
Which
not
would make
playing
sense
for the rest
because
of the year.
LaMarcus isn't playing.
Yeah,
he
Boogie
did.
said he's not playing for the rest of the year. That's just mouth talk. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Money talks.
Yeah, let's say someone
Joakim,
put some money in
that's
him.
sick.
Yeah.
That's sick. That helps, dude. I like Joakim. I like him. He
yeah.
for sure. He
I mean, I
could
loved
do
it
some help.
in Chicago, honestly, because when him and Rose were playing together, I really thought they had something special. But of course,
Yeah.
Rose was so injury prone.
Yeah. All right, Jacob. You said you're going with Caleb.
Yeah, I gotta go with the Lakers. Especially after the year we're having, I think a title back to the Lakers just seems right, honestly. And they have the best player in the world right now, and arguably another top 5 player active right now with Anthony Davis. I mean, the dude's fucking
easily.
nasty. I mean,
Easily.
JaVale McGee he's made fun of a lot, but he's still an amazing.
He's solid. He's a good
center. And I mean, Rajon Rondo, he's older, but he's an
Good
assist
position
leader
player.
for a reason.
Yeah.
He's got the right players to get the ball to.
I'll say this: he's the best replacement player for LeBron that LeBron's ever had, and not
Exactly.
replacement, but
Yeah,
LeBron runs point, and
the
Rajon
movie The
will run point.
Replacements, right?
Yep, he'll run point, and he'll be a good
And
point
then,
guard.
honest guy, people forget Alex Caruso off the bench.
Yeah.
Dude's fucking crazy. It's just
Yeah, he's having an unbelievable season.
they probably don't get to keep him after this contract.
Yeah,
You
I
know what
love
mean?
Caruso.
They have a special team. I mean, sure, Dwight Howard might come in there and fuck things up a little bit, but
Yeah.
as soon as he's done, doing his thing, we're right
Sure.
back to JaVale. So
Sure.
I mean, it's a great team. And again, after this year losing Kobe, I think the whole city's going to kind of come around.
It will make
the Lakers, I
2020
think.
coming from a Heat fan, dude. If the Lakers win, bro, I won't be mad. If it's Lakers and Heat in the
Nobody
final,
should be mad.
Exactly. And like I said, the whole city of LA is going to rally behind.
To be
LA
honest
if
with
they
you,
make that statement.
it's what
It would
2020
be-
needs, bro.
It would be crazy if it was
we need
a
good
LA.
fucking topper for this.
Yes,
LA
Jared, it will be. I know what you're getting at. LA Western Conference Final. I think it will.
No,
be.
no. Yeah, that.
Oh, sorry.
But I was gonna say for just. Well, I'll say it once we get to our actual finals.
Okay,
I was gonna say
cool.
Boston and Lakers.
Oh, fuck that. I hate that.
that's a classic.
Yeah, it's a classic. I
That would
just
be
hate Boston.
no,
I
that
don't
would
want
be
them to
an
get there.
amazing matchup.
That means they would
all
have had
love
to.
watch that though.
Yeah, it would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no surprise for me, guys. We're going with my Western Conference favorite. I put 1A, 1B, LA. My 1A is Lakers, 1B is Clippers. All for obvious reasons, man. If I get a Miami Heat, LA Lakers final, which is probably not going to happen, I'm being biased over here, but I'd be happy. Just to mirror you guys,
Yeah.
dude, the Lakers, they got AD and LeBron. They have 2 top 5 players in the NBA. They're just so damn good. I mean, they don't really need much of a supporting cast, but they got it. Danny Green's not great, but he's good. JaVale McGee, he is on. He's better than Danny Green at his position. And then you got shooting guard. You got Caldwell Pope and you got Avery Bradley, whatever. But
You got Kyle Kuzma. He comes in and makes a noise every once in a while, too.
I love Kuzma, dude. I'm a Kuzma fan. Yeah. I'm kind of like a Kuzma fan like I am with Lonzo.
I thought I saw something about Avery Bradley
not
not
playing. He can
playing.
come in and make some noise.
Yeah, I saw that too, Jared. Avery Bradley, but I'm really not going to humor that right now. I'll see the depth charts when they come out. Avery Bradley said this, but it's probably heightened emotion shit right now. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. It is.
But I love Kuzma, bro. He's a role player, and he's only going to get better. Kuzma will not, he'll never stay stagnant. He's only going to improve.
True.
And I love Rondo, but go with the Clippers. I think if they're going to win one, it's going to be this year. It's going to be this year. They got PG, they got Pat Bev, they got Kawhi. I love that roster.
And Kawhi just in general is enough to carry a team.
Yep.
Like, let's be honest. So.
Yeah.
Well, he did it last year.
Well,
Siakam really came out.
He did have some help.
I think Kawhi brought that out of him, though.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Dude, Pascal Siakam, if you're not a basketball fan, you're not really going to know. You're like, oh, Kawhi won that. Dude, Pascal Siakam killed it. And his name's leaving me right now. What's their point guard? He kind of looks like Drake a little bit. Look like Mike Bibby. What's his name? Fred Van Vliet? Is that it?
Yes.
That's it. Dude, he turned it the fuck up this year, bro. He went off this year. Like, he did really well this year.
He's trying to get that bag.
I really enjoyed seeing Marc Gasol get a ring.
Yeah.
That goes
for
back,
sure, dude. Just a lifer, bro.
To the Memphis Grizzlies, to tell you the truth, they had a good team with Mike Conley, Marc Gasol, and Zebo.
Yeah.
And
was Boogie on that team at the same time, or
no?
I think it was after. Yeah.
Okay, I was probably mistaken. Yeah.
But dude, that was a great three right there. And Ray Allen, Tony Allen, dude, he was a monster on defense. He was always trouble for the Spurs, but I always liked him because they played really hard. That's why they're my second favorite team. But yeah, Marc Gasol, he deserved a ring as well. So Mike Conley and Zebo both deserve one in my book as well.
Mm-hmm.
Great points there, my man. All right, this is what we're going to do, guys. So we're all pretty much wrapping up. We got to talk about our favorite, but, we're running here a little long. What I think is we probably, have a pretty similar favorite, unless someone has a little bit different they want to talk about. But we'll kind of mirror each other a little bit here and try to go a little bit expedited. Caleb, who do you think is going to win it all? Who's your favorite?
Lakers.
Jared?
Clippers.
Jacob?
Lakers in 7.
Yeah, Lakers in 6, Lakers in 7 for me. And I think, I could see Boston. I hope it's Miami. But and I'm not mad at Jared. I'm not going to argue that. Clippers, that's fine. I do color me surprised if it is anything different than Clippers and Lakers in the finals. I mean, maybe they see each other before. Right? Western Conference Finals before. So I don't know how it looks right now, but if it looks right, they're the 1 seed, 2 seed. As of right now, if they continuously win and they stay 1 seed, 2 seed, they won't see each other to the finals. Because 1 will play 8, 2 will play 7, and then they'll play that way. But as of right now, they won't play each other unless they face each other in the conference finals.
Yeah, for sure.
And
that's how it should be. Sure.
I'm not arguing with that. I'm picking Lakers. If I have to bet money, if you give me $100, say you had to pick one team, I'm picking Lakers. But Clippers are my second choice. Even before I look at East Conference Finals, Eastern Conference teams, I'm saying Clippers. Even before you get into them,
for sure.
So
I feel that.
So Milwaukee would be my third, but Clippers and Lakers are better than both of them.
That's what I was thinking too. Is Milwaukee's like my close second behind Boston.
Yep.
East,
that's fair. That's fair. All right, boys. We got anything else to add?
I just want to give a shout out to the Spurs organization. Keep doing what you do, okay? You got some young guys coming up. Yo, I love you guys. Keep trying.
Jared, what are you going to do if they make the playoffs, man?
I'm going to fucking throw a party.
I'm
having a cookout.
Yeah, no, they're the second last seed.
They're second last.
Suns. They're 12th. Suns, D-Book.
Yeah.
Now, we didn't talk about the Suns. Maybe we can talk about them in the future. They got Devin Booker, but I don't think they're going to make. They'll be good in the future.
I feel like the Spurs and the Suns both are actually pretty young right now. I know the Spurs still have DeRozan and Rudy Gay and LaMarcus, but we do have a lot of young talent as well.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, I mean, looking at the year, dude, boys, this is getting me so excited. I can't wait. July 30th can't come soon enough.
Sports are coming back.
Yeah.
I just really hope so. I mean, coronavirus is serious, but it's hard for us sports lovers. We kind of are selfish a little bit, We kind of I take the coronavirus pretty seriously, but I compartmentalize it. Like when sports, I'm just like, I want fucking sports back, bro. Just give it back to me, please. I'll do whatever.
Same thing that the NBA is doing, so I can't wait for us to do that episode as well.
And we're seeing what's happening. People are dying from coronavirus, and then it's serious. We should take it seriously. But how they're seeing, I'm not saying from my point of view, how NBA commissioners, Adam Silver, others are seeing it. These guys are getting the coronavirus. They are asymptomatic, and they're healthy after 2 weeks.
Well,
and
look at
so
the NFL.
they're getting
I
their
mean, so
money.
many players are, getting tested
Yeah.
positive right now.
Even the older guys, Sean Payton, the head coach, he got it. I'm not downplaying it. I'm saying the results of what happened. They're getting it 2 weeks later. They don't test. They're cleared, and
True.
they move on.
Yeah.
But all right, boys, I think that'll do it for us for our first We Don't Know Sports episode. The topic is NBA resumes. NBA resumption, July 30th, going to end October 12th at the latest. December 1st is 2020-2021 season. Just a little recap. We got 9 teams coming back from East Conference, 13 teams coming from West Conference, 8 games apiece, and we'll see how it plays out after that. All right, boys, any closing statements, or are we out of here?
Wish Pittsburgh had a team.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's all I got.
All right, boys, till next week, we're out.
All right, guys.
Peace.